The good news from the coalition is that instead of being timid, they're going to move strongly ahead with clear policy alternatives. They've lacked product differentiation far too often under Malcolm Turnbull and Scott Morrison. In coming weeks, Peter Dutton will outline his plan to introduce nuclear power into our energy mix. The country nearly did this back in the 1970s, but we opted to stick with cheap and plentiful coal and gas instead. And since everyone decided 25 years ago that we need to cut emissions, the nation has stuffed around pretending that renewables can do the job. We should have had a reactor or two in operation already. But now the coalition under Dutton gives us some energy hope. The trouble is that unlike the green left energy realists overseas, the Australian Labor Party and the Greens are energy troglodytes.
No one has ever been prepared to put up a dollar. And that's the truth of the matter. The market is what's determining where that investment goes. And the market shows that renewables is the cheapest form of energy. And in South Australia in particular...
What a ridiculous claim. Nobody can invest in nuclear power in Australia because it is illegal. That's the point. Get rid of the legislative bans and let us join the 21st century. You know, the century where 23 leading economies at last year's Global Climate Talkfest committed to tripling the amount of nuclear energy. And it's funny the PM should mention South Australia, where they have more renewable, sure, than any other state in the national electricity market, because South Australia also happens to have the most expensive electricity in the country. And it relies heavily on a power extension cord from Victoria, which left it exposed to the national market's only ever statewide blackout just 8 years ago. So the energy situation in South Australia is not a guiding light, it's a warning alarm. And back in 2016, that state's Labor government conducted a royal commission into the nuclear industry. And it found that it wouldn't be commercially viable to develop a nuclear power plant at that time, and note these words, under current market rules. Yeah, the current electricity market rules massively favour renewable energy. The whole system is rigged for renewables. They're designed to force out other forms of power, that is, coal and gas. So it's far from an open commercial market, which means that's something else the government should do. Get rid of the laws against nuclear and establish a neutral energy market that doesn't favour one form over the other. In fact, it should favour reliable energy over unreliable. Still, the Royal Commission in that same Royal Commission report, in the next paragraph, said this: there will in coming decades be a need to significantly reduce carbon emissions and, as a result, to decarbonise Australia's electricity sector. Nuclear power as a low-carbon energy source comparable with other renewable technologies may be required as part of a lower-carbon electricity system. Yeah, so there you have it. A state Labor government was prepared to look at this rationally. It put aside the ideological battles of the 70s. Remember, Labor used to be against uranium mines as well. And it looked at the role for nuclear in a sensible way. It's high time the current National Labor government did the same thing.